this way, candidates, get up, introduce yourselves, your ticket, and like a one-liner about your campaign. Don't go in-depth into your platform. Let's start over here.
Alright, hello everyone. My name is Jan Wajik, and this is my partner Shamal Mohammed, and we are running for Senior Caucus, and we believe that our two-part system of focusing on finance and communications will, and our, you would say, characters will be enough to change Stuyvesant and make the senior year an amazing year for everyone.
Hi, I'm Namra Zulfikar.
And I'm Emre Ramadani.
And we're running for Senior Caucus because we believe that the experience that we've gained from Junior Caucus, along with our realistic ideas for next year, will ensure a great senior year for all current juniors.
Hello, I am Niels Graham.
And I'm Paulina Ruta.
And we are also running for Senior Caucus. And, big surprise, yeah. And we believe our pragmatic view forward will help us propel into an amazing senior year.
Hello, I'm Laszlo Sandler. This is Max Burfield. We're Maslow. And we believe in providing small, attainable change that you will notice throughout the year.
I'm Hassan Tuktukish. And I'm Kenneth Chu, and we're going to run for Senior Caucus. We're implementing a three-part plan that will lower costs for prom, and senior year is going to be great. We're going to make senior year great again.
Alright, so I'm going to start again there again, and then come back for the next question.
Wait, this is alphabetism.
It's not alphabetical. Alright, so the first question is, how would your ticket benefit us and the rest of the Stuyvesant community better than the others? You guys get 1 minute. Stand up and speak all the way on. Ready, set, go.
Okay, so our plan focuses on making senior dues easier and cheaper for every Stuyvesant student who is going to be a senior next year. Our plan involves comprehensive reform in order to make these senior dues better for every student, whether they have reduced lunch or free lunch, through fundraising events, and so on. We want to make senior year the best year that it can possibly have. We want to have people involved in running our campaign through an expansive advisory council, unlike this year and previous years, and we want people to have their voice heard in our student government.
And yeah, we want to focus intensely on finance and make sure, as Shamal said, that prom was the most biggest parts and senior dues of senior year, that people don't stress it out about that and make that affordable for everyone, as well as increasing communication to the student body and making, you could say, a more efficient student union, Senior Caucus.
Thank you. Same question.
So our ticket focuses on realistic ideas that we know that we can implement in the following year because of what we've gained from this year. We know we can do small things like history electives or secure deals with Kung Fu Tea because we've already talked to those people and we know that that can happen.
Yeah, like Namra said, we've had a lot of problems this year, and we know exactly how things work and why they work that way. We know members of the administration, and we know how to work with them really well. We've worked with them really well, and we want to continue working with them well in order to accomplish some of the things that we already have a strong foothold in doing.
Alright, ready, go.
Okay, we have like a very strong track record of getting things done. I personally helped directly with the school store. Paulina's helped with the new clubs and pub system. So I think like this is a very good track record we can build off. And furthermore, these accomplishments we made in the past have given us a very strong connection with the administration, specifically the Alumni Association, and that will help us achieve our very structural goals of getting things like a better NU, more benches within the senior atrium, a better NU student lounge, and all these other main structural goals. So we're looking for these very like big goals that can still be accomplished through strong connections with these certain associations with the school that we've already made.
We believe we can help you because we're focusing mainly on small, attainable change, but we want to get a lot of it done. And we feel that in the past, a lot of times the student body doesn't realize what the student union has been doing, and they feel that a lot of things haven't been gotten done. And we'll make sure that during your senior year, you notice what we're doing, and that we're there, to implement things that you want. And that one of the biggest parts of our platform is communication. We strongly emphasize communication with you, with the rest of the student body, because what's important to us is your voice, so this is your year.
Well, as for our campaign, we really believe that a major issue here in Stuyvesant is the apathy problem, where a lot of students really just don't care about politics or how the elections go or school spirit at all. And both me and Kenneth are members of the varsity baseball team. We've attended most school events.
You're Hassan.
Hassan. Yeah, we have attended a lot of events, and we really want to make, we think that school spirit, we don't want to make small changes. We don't want to make things that most people won't notice, because we've seen in the past that there have been small changes, there have been small events. I think there was like a phone boxing night, and only like 4 people attended, 5 people attended. We want to turn it around completely next year, and we really wanted to make it a year of fun, of excitement, and a year where even though we get our work done, we can really, at the end, really enjoy and really look back on our time at Stuyvesant. And in 10 years, maybe we can say, wow, I actually enjoyed the last few days of high school.
Yeah, and I need to stress that Senior Caucus is more about the effort that's put in rather than all these big plans that we propose, because it's more about who do you guys trust that's actually going to implement change, rather than who's going to be up here and talk the most smooth. I know we all talk really nicely, but yeah, that's it.
Thank you. Okay, so we're gonna start with this side now. Next question.
Alphabetism in reverse.
Is 2. Okay. How are you going to maintain transparency of what the caucuses do? Ready, go.
Will you rephrase that question?
Okay,
I just didn't hear.
So how are you going to maintain transparency of what the caucuses do / are doing?
All right.
All right. Well, I'm actually a member of the SU, and Hassan has actually worked with SU too, so we're kind of like on a similar level. And I think that we're clearly not going to be doing things in secret. We're going to be involved with the Alumni Association. We're going to be involved with the BOE, with members of the SU, and we're going to be involved with other caucuses. And I mean, the SU room, the caucuses, it's all kind of, it's all open. There's no secret plans. We're going to let everyone know. We're going to have huge Facebook posts. That's one of our biggest goals, communication. We really want to increase communication. We're going to let people know in advance. We're not going to keep things in secret or keep things hidden from the Stuyvesant public, because that's not who we are as people. We're open people. We like to talk. We like to communicate. And we hopefully can make an environment like that for all of Stuyvesant.
We want to make SU more accessible to the student body, because we feel that through the past 3 years, SU really hasn't been, as for me, because I haven't been involved with SU, and I don't feel like I've had that contact with the student government, which I really love. And
Thank you. Just so you guys know, Michael over here is taking your time in like 30 seconds.
well, that's
Cool.
Yes.
Oh, can you like tap his foot or something audible?
Wait,
Can you do something audible? Like a...
I'll do this.
Okay, whatever.
Same question, transparency, Maslow.
Maslow.
That's a final answer.
Minus
No.
3.
Ready, go.
All right, so people post on Facebook all the time, but I don't really think that's effective enough at getting our point across or getting our message out. And Tassine, he built a beautiful website. The SU website is really beautiful, and there's a page just for Senior Caucus, and it's really nice, but I feel like no one ever goes there. So we want to make sure that that's actually used. We want to make it useful, post on it, make it filled with content that people actually want to see, as well as doing stuff for transparency, like putting bulletin boards up with all of our ideas, posters and such. As we've shown, we can already make killer posters because we're the best.
Yeah, I mean, to add on to that, I think because one of the most important things in our campaign is transparency, is getting involved to make sure everybody knows what's going on and knowing how they can get involved. We want to make sure that people who aren't online a lot will also be able to know what's going on. And if that means we have to go around the school and hang up posters early in the morning, that's something we'll do just to make sure everyone sees what's going on. So we want to make sure nobody is out of the loop, because everybody should be involved in our senior year if they want to be involved.
Okay, so for our ideas of communication, it's pretty straightforward. As pointed out, we'll continue the legacy of a Facebook group for those who want to join it. But we also believe that Facebook is very inaccessible to a lot of people. I mean, right now, not the whole Stuyvesant grade is on Facebook. So I think one big thing that we will try to push for is currently there exists an email form of all the seniors Sty.edu emails, and it was recently locked down after our friend Tassine got a lot of videos posted on them. But if we can regain the access to these and use them for legitimate purposes, we can use this as a very good method of communicating with the whole Stuyvesant body in a manner that like they'll be more inclined to read. It's not just like a Facebook post on your newsfeed. It's like a direct email, something a bit more special. So we'll obviously do that. We'll also go into them. We're looking to put up a whiteboard either within the senior bar area or within the student lounge or within the senior atrium. Any of these places will be good, but we directly aim to put up a whiteboard. We aim to unlock this emailing list, and we aim to continue with the Facebook group.
All right, thank you. Any question?
So what we've done this year so far is we've established a mailing list because there was so much trouble with getting the juniors at stuysu.org. We worked around that and we created a mailing list that we asked Ms. Zhang to send out, and we had as many juniors as possible gain access to it, so those who do not have Facebook can have another method of communicating with us and for us to communicate with them. We've also had daily announcements. Although they are mumbled at times, they do inform some people of what's happening with the caucus. We'll also obviously continue Facebook posts and continue the flyers we have around the school.
It's also very necessary to utilize Ms. Zhang. She's a very vital resource in our school. So the easiest way to get emails out to everyone, if we can have access to all these emails, is to go through Ms. Zhang, like we've done previously with JPON and t-shirt sales. We've had Ms. Zhang send out emails.
So transparency and informing the entire student body is extremely important, and one of the ways we want to focus on that is continuing. As always, there has been a Facebook group, and we're going to continue doing that because we know how many people use Facebook and how important that is. And we are also aware of how many people don't use Facebook and don't check it that often. We know that this isn't like a universal thing. So we want to increase the amount of emails that we send a week or in a given time, just so that the entire student body is aware of what we're doing and not make the messages sporadic, so that there is some sort of pattern that people are constantly updated on what is being worked on and what we're planning to do. As well as we also want to get the Zhang administration to have her hand in this, because it lends more legitimacy to what we're doing and would very much help with any plans that we have going forward.
Next question.
Can we take a 5-minute break?
Wait, will there be a 5-minute break?
On what?
Okay. Not affiliated with this person.
It's kind of like old news, but we can still talk about it.
I like old news.
It's great. Removal of the AP waiver.
Ooh.
Thoughts on that? How are you going to go about fixing that this time? Start here, go that way, and that way. Okay, so you get AP
Okay.
waiver. How'd you
AP
go about-
waiver. Go about.
How'd you go about
Ah.
fixing it?
Okay, so the AP waiver, from my understanding of it, was an administrative choice because APs are now used towards teacher review, and that's also something that's coming in kind of above our head. It's coming in directly from the Board of Education. So obviously we will try to do this. We'll obviously go down the correct pathways using like administration, like Ms. Pedrick and Mr. Plotza. Will see what they can do there. But I think at the end of the day, this is not something caucuses should be directly be pushing for. I don't think that it's like within our power to really change long-term BOE standards. Sorry, yeah, Board of Education standards. Yeah. Long-term BOE standards. So obviously we will directly push for it, but again, it seems like something that we should not be wasting political capital as caucus members on. We should be going towards much more obtainable tasks. So if the opportunity does to open itself up to remove this BOE waiver, I think definitely we will go for it. But at the same time, I know right now Matt and Tessine are pushing for it. All these different people within the student government are pushing for it, and I think we'll obviously add our voice to it. But again, we will not put our whole back and use all our effort towards it.
I was at the SLT meeting when the new policy was first discussed, and the idea of an appeals process was the one that was spoken about, and the administration has not released that to students yet, but people found out through posts from Kevin Boudrum and myself and other students as well. And I think the biggest goal is going to be trying to formalize the process, because right now it's basically an idea, and the administration doesn't even know what they're doing with it themselves. So I think that our goal will be, even if we can't get it accomplished for our year, to maybe just set in stone a formalized process for appeals for future seniors and juniors and sophomores.
And I think a large part of Ms. Zhang trying to formalize this appeals process because of the amount of student opposition to the new policy was, and I think we did have a large part in increasing that opposition and showing the administration that the students were really against it. And I think that although it may seem like a hopeless task, it is important to voice the opinions of the students. If the students want more APs and they're firmly against this new policy, we need to communicate that to Zhang, so there will be change.
Ready? Okay, so we want to fight for more clarity within the appeal process that Edward brought up briefly, and we want to make sure that people know about how exactly they can fight against this AP waiver right now, but ultimately we have to look at what the senior class really wants. If they want more APs, then definitely we will take a greater look into how exactly we will go against this AP waiver and ways to make sure that people get the classes that they want. But ultimately, if they don't want that, then like Neil said, it is not our political responsibility to focus on that. We have to focus on what our seniors want, and that ultimately depends whether or not we focus on this issue.
We also want to focus on explaining that whenever there are changes in the administration, I know that a lot of students are misinformed and they don't know what's coming down from the BOE and make rash decisions and don't understand that this is something that Ms. Zhang decided that this has implications on how teachers are graded, and we want to make sure that every single change that happens is explained to all the students.
So I'm just going to talk about it from more of a student standpoint. I believe that after already getting to senior year, by this time most students don't show interest in taking 4 or 5 APs anymore. A lot of students, especially that I've talked to, have been trying to lighten their course loads and prevent themselves from having a overloaded first term. Meanwhile, they're dealing with college apps and all that. I feel like the process should really start sooner, and that's why the relevance it has to senior caucus especially, and the power we have to do something for senior caucus for the seniors in terms of the AP waiver. It's kind of negligible. If we start maybe freshman year, sophomore year, or in general with the SU working on that, it would be a lot more efficient. But I really feel that even though it is important for students to be able to get as many APs they can take, it is still a way to grade teachers and a way to inform the College Board of how teachers are teaching. And for that, I really don't think that issue is as important to senior caucus as you made out.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think Niels and Danny put this very well. This is not a senior caucus issue. This is an SU issue. That's what the SU is for, the SU president and vice president, because they control the whole school. And we're seniors. And by the time we get into office, it's already too late. There's nothing we can really do. And that's why we're going to focus on other things. I think if we try to, fix this for future years, then we're not doing our job. Because our job is to focus on this year's, or on our senior year. Because the SU, I have faith in Matt, I have faith in Tassine. I think they're going to get it done. I know they're going to do their best, to get it done. And while we'll try our best to help them out, I don't think it's something we need to prioritize. Because there's people working to get it done, and we're going to work on getting things done that we know we can and that we know will help you.
We're not going to waste our time.
We have other things in mind.
This is a bad question. Impeach the BOE.
Minus 30.
10 seconds. It's like a fact. It's just a statement of fact.
This is out of line. Objection,
Wait,
Your Honor.
What do you say to answer it?
Oh, I just wanted to say that senior caucus gets into office before the end of the year, and
Objection.
AP selections aren't finalized
Yeah, but not
until
for
the day before
seniors.
the new year.
Wait, who cares?
Because then we can still change the policy.
Yep, for 2 minutes. Wait, you're not going to change the policy that have 500 juniors coming up and be like, no, I need to change it right now.
It'll be done over the summer.
What? Yeah, but when? Whatever.
Alright guys, we're gonna move on. Alright, so I'm gonna take a 3-minute break because we need to
Shayna, ask Shayna.
Shayna, what's your question?
Wait, introduce yourself.
Last one.
Why are you coming? Okay, so, what do you think of the fact that the spectator endorsed Niels and Pauline?
Is this towards anybody or?
Can I answer?
Alright, this is 30 seconds per, so we can get as many questions for you. You guys are starting. 30 seconds to answer.
Why are we starting?
Because you went last.
Okay.
Alphabetism. Alright,
Well,
ready?
I mean,
Go.
I am on the Spectator, so technically I'm supposed to say I endorse it. But I had no part in the endorsement writing and the endorsement selection. I know how they did. I know the Spectator is definitely, they choose it fairly. Everybody has a voice, everybody has a vote. I don't know how it's written. I was out of the room when they did it, so I can't comment. I'm just sad. I wanted my name removed from the masthead and the Spectator because I had nothing to do with this, and they didn't. So I'm very furious with the Spectator. Oh, and if elected, I am resigning from my position as humor editor of the Stuyvesant Spectator. and keeping in position as president.
Alright.
Can I get into humor?
Alright, 30 seconds, go.
Alright, so not gonna lie, I'm a bit salty about that, but they are qualified candidates. And so what I didn't like about the spec endorsement was mostly the part that I do kind of disagree with Laszlo in that it was, sorry, I know it wasn't you, but like, I don't feel like everybody was given a fair chance. And how come I don't even have the picture that we sent in? It's not on here. And so, like, I just feel like just from that fact, maybe it was to save space. Who knows?
That's valid. That
Who
is a valid
knows?
point. I second that.
Yeah, take it up.
All right.
Yeah.
No comment.
So, yeah.
It's all a ploy to get the hatred to respect, not POE. Alright, you got it.
I want both. That means like
30 seconds, wait, restart. 30 seconds,
Splice the
ready,
play.
go.
I mean, obviously, we're not exactly satisfied with the spectator decision, but we, accepted. They had made their informed decision about who they think is the best candidate, and I think that if that ultimately, like, it might play a role in people who lead the spectators vote lead the spectator, but this debate also plays a role into whether or not they decide to vote. So, like, the spectator endorsement isn't exactly putting the election in stone. There's still time to change.
I think that the spectator is respectable. It does its best to enforce a fair voting process to determine who gets the endorsement. But there's only so much information they receive, and they're not necessarily aware of what a caucus can and cannot do specifically. They're not familiar with the way the administration works completely, and because of that, they may not be completely informed about how plausible a caucus's platform might be or how successful they'll be in office.
We're all waiting for it. Gotta say about being endorsement of the spectator.
So we think that the spectators did a pretty good job at giving at giving an accurate representation of what our platform is and what our whole campaigning stands for. Not necessarily fighting student apathy, as we understand that senior year, there comes a lot more stress with it, especially the first term with college applications. So we're focusing more on like structural reform and not having our platform rely on student involvement.
Back to the audience.
Another question.
A scene shouter.
Explain the dynamic. Wait, you have to introduce yourself. I'm the scene shouter. I'm a sophomore. Can you explain the dynamic between president and vice president of each ticket?
You want to go first?
Whoa, alright, we'll do this.
Can it be like Jeopardy when you hit the button and you go first? I think
You guys want to go first?
we want to go first.
This way.
They already stood up.
Start there, yeah. Start there. Alright. 30 seconds, ready, go.
I believe me and Hassan are here. We form a great duo
Yes.
because he agrees on me with everything. So that's one. And another thing is that I believe that Hassan is a very hardworking kid. And so that means he'll put extra time into the senior caucus role. And I think that's what's most important up here, not about whether you have experience in SU. Because like if you have experience in SU, like senior caucus isn't that as connected with SU as you think. And I wonder.
Matt, 30 seconds, ready, go. That runs.
All right, so freshman year, in the very, very beginning of freshman year, I was living in Carroll Gardens, and I would take the F train with my buddy Solomon and Toby, and it was great. And then Laszlo was also there sometimes. We just ran into him. And then one day, Solly and Toby were like, "Oh, we're gonna run for freshman caucus," and I was like, "Oh, well, so are me and Laszlo." And that's actually how me and Laszlo became friends, because I had never spoken to Laszlo before that, and now Laszlo is like actually like one of my closest friends, right? So the point is, our whole friendship is built upon running for caucus. And when we win, it's just gonna make us that much more devoted to serving the student body.
Yeah, to add on to that, I think it kind of shows, like, one of us isn't dominating the other. We're very equal about things. Like, I'm running as president, but sophomore year I ran as vice president. Freshman year I ran as president. And it kind of shows we're equal. And, we're going to, Max has just as much of a say about things as I do when it comes to ideas. And I think it shows, as far as tickets go, we are very balanced, and I think we respect each other as
I
well.
was a little tear getting tired.
Aw.
Alright. You. 20 seconds left. No, okay. 30 seconds. Ready? Go.
Okay, so we have a very strong relationship. Paulina and I, we're friends. We met back. We are friends. Though.
We are.
Anyways, we met rowing. It wasn't as nice of a story as Laszlo's, but we rowed together for a while, and that was fun. And then we also met at the FU, and that was also fun. And we decided, we're two very competent people who have traits that complement each other. For example, so we just met and we did well, working with one another. So we decided we'd run for senior caucus. Would you like to add anything?
Our ideas kind of just clicked. And,
Wait, can we clap for them too? Everybody gets a clap. That's the thing. Everybody deserves an equal opportunity.
I would say Namr and I have a great dynamic. We actually met through semi-formal planning committee freshman year. So SU is at the core of our relationship, and I think we just work very, very well together because we have the perfect balance of professionalism and friendship in our partnership. I think that's what a good caucus needs, is a good level of friendship and personal understanding, but also a level of professional understanding, knowing when to work versus knowing when to have fun. I think those two tie together really well, and I think that we represent the perfect caucus because of that dynamic.
Especially since, because we're both friends and we also work in a professional setting, we both have an equal voice in everything we do. It's not simply one person voicing over the other.
Now you're calling for everybody to get a clap, and now you're not clapping. Okay. Hey,
Interesting
Minus
observation.
3.
Uh-oh. By the end of the debate, we'll be out.
All right, so Shamal and I, we met on the E-Train sophomore year, but it wasn't until junior year in science school where our relationship as friends we bonded strongly. And I'd say that working with Shamal on science school has been an amazing time because he doesn't keep anything secret from me. When I'm being an idiot, he'll tell it to me to my face. And I love working with him on the team, whether it's answering really nerdy questions, and he's just a great guy. And I think we have a fantastic dynamic that would greatly help the senior caucus.
I think people are commenting questions on the Facebook link.
Alright. One person.
Wait, who is it? Oh wait, it was Lowell.
I did not. I submitted a question, but nobody seemed to.
You did.
Ask you.
But yeah, Lowell messaged us asking to ask him.
What were your shortcomings as junior caucus representatives, and how are you not going to repeat them?
I think one perceived shortcoming is the lack of college trips and the lack of communication between the student body and the caucus. And I think that a large majority of that was the fact that we were still trying to work out relationships with the administration. And it was a bit difficult for us to get a clear answer when we needed it. But I think because we've developed those strong relationships this past year, we can work with the administration a lot better this year, and therefore we won't repeat the same mistakes.
Alright, back to the audience. Alex.
Introduce yourself, Alex.
Alex Shermester with CERN's Junior. Obviously the SU has a budget, and the senior caucus and all the caucuses have to go through the budget team to get things done. So at what point would you sacrifice the integrity of the SU budget to improve student life outside? Where do you draw the line?
Can I have a question about the question? What does that mean, the integrity of the student budget?
Yeah.
So how many financial sacrifices are you willing to make to improve student
Can you
life?
define
Does
a
that mean
financial
going in
sacrifice?
debt, or does that mean
Not
spending a lot?
Where do you draw that? How much are you willing to spend to try to improve student life?
Wait, is the budget go to something else besides improving the life of Stuyvesant? Because I feel like the whole point of the budget
No,
was
I'm
to.
asking for where do you see the balance? How much money should we spend on advance?
Okay.
Alright, you
You
guys
want to
have
respond?
enough.
Yeah.
You guys have
Wait, they just got 2 in a row. That's how it works.
Well, I think the biggest goal in dealing with money is how can we maximize efficiency and quality of the dance, let's say, or the event, with minimizing the money usage. And I think that's what we've done, especially with JPOM. Our venue is cheaper. Last year they went $2,000 into debt, and our venue is arguably nicer as well. So I think now I'm going to have a great experience with knowing how much money to spend and how to like maximize the experience.
James, okay.
Right, so a good portion of our campaign was about fiscal responsibility, and yes, we want to keep it so that like we don't spend reckless amounts of money as was spent like in Sing this year. Like I heard that there were certain costs that were unnecessary that took a toll and made it so that Sing basically cut even. And
Yeah, so what we want to do is we want to make sure that we spend only the necessary amount of funds on these projects so that we have excess funds that can go to things that will improve student lives, such as dances, such as the things that you mentioned.
Well, I think a large part of this is actually how much budget we're getting, and the budget does indeed fluctuate over time. Me and Niels are both members of the budget department, and we know that school year is only as powerful and as exciting as the budget allows it to be, and we will try to make the best use of the budget as we can. We will use all funds available. No one's laundering any money. All money is going to like making the events as good as possible, and we are obviously going to. They did like castigate us for not having the best ideas for increasing the budget, but I think a lot of that is also the SU, not just the senior caucus. So we're going to try and increase the budget and have a great year.
We certainly want to improve the quality of student life, but I think a lot of the ways that caucuses have tried before to try and improve the quality of student life using the budget haven't been so successful, namely the jousting thing. That was a waste of money. Just straight up, it was a waste of money, and they lost money on it. I'm angry about it, and that's me and Laszlo are not going to do that. We're going to make sure that our events actually get attendance. We're going to do our best to make a return on everything we do, because we're not going to throw our money away at something that just is not going to be viable in the long term.
That was a direct attack. Can we wait till Niels is telling the answer?
Wait, we answered.
Oh, we can go?
So I guess like bouncing directly off Max and Laszlo's points, I was on budget this year, and we made a very clear attempt to differentiate events that either build school spirit and we were willing to take a loss on to gain like a better sense of like a community within the school and a better sense of just students having fun, and events that are directly there to make money. And I guess I'm going to focus specifically on the events directly there to make money. And I think like we are only going to pursue events like these if it shows like a very clear sign that like a large majority of the student body will attend, and we will be making a sizable profit, that even if some people who said they were initially going to attend won't attend, that they still will attend. So I guess like we're directly focusing on events that will make money and making sure we only throw these events if it's like a basically guarantee that money will be made.
Response.
I'd like to respond to Maslow's attack on junior joust this year. I don't necessarily think that we threw money at an event that wasn't going to plan out. We did release forms beforehand to estimate around how many people come, and the amount of people that signed up did lead us to assume that there would be profit made. And I think that regardless of whether or not money was lost, which we are making up with apparel sales and bake sales, so our caucus will not leave with a debt to the student union. The people who did attend the event enjoyed the event, and I feel like that's one of the main reasons for a caucus, to make sure the entire student body enjoys the events the student unions.
Can I respond?
That wasn't an attack.
What? No, it was a response to our attack, so we get to respond to the response.
This is where the actual debate part comes in.
It's called like banter or something, right?
It's called debate.
30
Just
seconds.
say what you were gonna say.
30 seconds.
All right. Yeah, I agree that the caucus should be about making student life the most enjoyable for the majority of students, and not us 5 people who come to junior joust. End of my statement.
All right. This is the last thing.
What? Wait, can I respond?
It's a debate. Let them respond.
Yeah, it's a debate.
Yeah. All right, them,
We're on a
and
good
then
topic.
Them, and then you get the
I could have
final
said
word.
my
Okay.
response.
No, wait, that's not fair.
No, it was the
You
first
guys
attack
attacked
was
them,
up.
so they
Yeah.
get the final word. You
Oh.
started it, they ended.
No,
All right,
you can
go.
go before we
No,
do.
they go. You go.
We're just gonna.
This is
attack
what we like to call a
You
Canadian
go.
stand-up,
What's
ladies and
happening?
gentlemen.
have to go now.
Kenneth and Big Hassan.
All right. All right, so
30
I
seconds.
actually agree with Maslow a lot on this one, because it's about the majority. And Namra's point about how the people who did go, how they enjoyed it. Why are people going to go to this event if they think they're not going to enjoy it. So that's just not really a very sound argument.
We were also, I think we were made fun of in the spec for saying we'd do bake sales and we would sell merchandise. And when Nama clearly just said that she implemented both of those ideas and they worked very well. And the spec also castigated us for that. So, yeah, thank you.
Shout out to the spec. All right. Last word. You got a lot of people on you. 30 seconds. Ready? Go.
I think that another point that Maslow did bring up was that we're going to promote these events so people will come, but you cannot force, you can't force people to come to events. If people want to be apathetic, we will do as much as we can to make sure that they know about these events and they want to come, but we can't drag them to the event specifically. And we didn't plan the event thinking 5 people were going to come. We planned for the majority because the majority expressed interest in the event and signed the form wanting to go to the event.
And in the grand scheme of the SU budget, a $195 deficit, which we are making up, is not a huge loss. So I think it's very trivial to point that out, especially when
we will make up the funds that we lost.
Yes.
I'd like to respond to that.
Ending
What makes any amount of money trivial?
Exactly.
Yeah, that money.
Issue about live
That money could have
That's
gone to
something
investment.
Kevin and Anna were bringing up points about how $25 makes a difference. If $25 is worth debating about, $195 is worth it too.
I concur.
$195 that will be made up.
On this issue. Okay, is there any?
Because my club gets criticized for using $25.
Make it up.
Is there any unique audience member that hasn't asked a question already that wants to
10
ask?
beer as well.
10 beer.
I have
a question for Neil. My name is Adman. I'm a junior. You said you would get a majority of the student body to attend one of your events. That hasn't been true in the past. How are you going to change that? Also, another question for Nalra Denver. They said they would spend money as long as for student spirit. So how many people exactly showed up to the job thing? Because I heard there's only 2 people.
All right.
Okay, that's a good question.
So, quickly to your point, Ajman, that's like a bit of a misconception. Not a misconception. It's like a miscommunication between us. Like, I'm not gonna like make a majority of the student population come to our events. What I was more trying to say was that like we will only throw an event that does require like a large sum of money with like a very large support from the student body, like a very, very clear, very, very large support from the student body, or we're just not going to throw it at all. We don't want to take the risk of having any size loss. I think like any money is money, like any money lost could be money better spent in a school. So we don't want to take a risk like that. So I guess like to the point directly with the majority, we're just trying to say that unless like a very, very, very large number of people are going to attend the event and the event looks almost certainly going to be profitable, we're not going to throw it.
You said, right, that you would be willing to take loss as long as it, helps a lot of students, sorry. You said you'd be willing to take a loss from an event as long as a lot of students feel happy about it, a lot of students enjoy it. Except, if there's a deficit of $195 on 2 people, I just don't see how that makes sense.
Okay, so in retrospect, we believe that the loss was worth it, but we are not going to throw events next year that will have the same loss. We don't believe in throwing money at Spirit Days if no one will attend, and we've learned that from the you could say, mistake that we made this year.
There were also, I like to mention, not 2 people, around 30 to 40. And we did not say that we're willing to lose money in order to satisfy a small group of people. We're saying that if there's money lost, we will work to make that money back.
And the money that we're making back is not some sort of gamble that we're hoping that we will hold an event that will make more money. We've stayed up long nights baking cookies, baking brownies to sell, to make up for the funds lost there. And we've lugged t-shirts from somewhere in Queens to make up for the funds lost. So we're not taking losses. We're not thinking that 195 is trivial. We're simply saying that 195 is trivial and that we can make it up.
Okay.
195 is not trivial.
All right. So, perfect timing. Interticketaries majiggy.
Wait, I think there's more audience questions. I think it's more important that the audience asks.
I mean, we have 10 minutes left.
No,
so
wait,
you guys want to take more audience?
Can we go extended time?
Can we?
Yeah,
okay.
I think it's very important we get every question answered.
I do want to debate each other.
Introduce yourself. I'm Aiden. I'm graduating. So, just how trivial is 195?
Thank you.
Wait,
it is not trivial at all.
Can we drop this question?
Wait, can we move on?
Wait,
Yeah.
How big was the junior conference budget this year, and what percent of it was the deficit?
That's a good question.
That is a great question.
Okay, so when we came into Junior Caucus, no one in the budget department of the student union really came to us and told us how much money we had to spend and how much money we had to make. It was kind of our responsibility, and we decided, this is an event that we see a majority of people want to come to, and this is an event we're going to hold. We're not saying 195 is trivial. No one just kind of has 195 in their back pocket, but we're saying that we know that we can make up that money, and if that money is lost, it's an amount of money that through bake sales and through apparel sales, we're confident we can make back.
That wasn't an attack.
What? But then it's not a debate. Then it's just question and answer. If we can
Have one response for every.
Yeah, I think we should be allowed to respond. Otherwise, people take things as fact.
Can we?
Okay. Okay, can we just bring it up?
Okay, 30 seconds.
All right.
You guys
All
get
right.
15 seconds.
No.
Yeah.
Listen, Number and Ember say they saw it as an event that they thought they could plan, and that's because their caucus was run almost exclusively by them. They surrounded themselves by 6 people. That was their entire advisory council. Not gonna happen. We're gonna make sure that everyone in the whole school is on board with us, not just 6 people and 2 dictators.
We're going to go out of our way to make sure.
Over to the audience.
Wait,
No, that was an attack.
You have to respond.
If they get to respond to it or not,
Wait,
they
wait,
get to respond to
let
it.
Kennedy.
You attack, so you get the last word.
Yes.
No, but then
We didn't get to finish our attack. Wait, how come we didn't get to finish speaking? No, because they made me go down. I wasn't on speaking. Oh, well, they went over with the last question. We know that.
You guys get 15 seconds to respond.
So they get to go over time and we don't.
You've gone over
Stop!
time.
30 seconds for Kennedy. Take his
30
time.
seconds.
Okay, thanks. $195 equals 4,362,637.50 Vietnamese dollars.
Hey. The point is, I don't want to draw attention to this amount of money, but I do believe in Namra and Ever that they can make it up. But I want to add attention to the fact that we're talking about. Danny. All right, we're talking about the student body, the voice of the student body. But what I see from up here is all our tickets talking about what we want for our student body to hold. And why don't we make polls on the Facebook group? That's the true voice of the student body, not our individual tickets. Why are they?
This is the last comment.
Okay, so we can respond to the various attacks on our ticket. 6 people applied for advisory council. We can't exactly surround ourselves with more than 6 people. If no more than 6 people apply.
No, it's true, and we will send you the application.
And
if
max,
you like.
we accepted
Well, how come
max.
we weren't sent it in the fall?
Second semester, 6 people applied. First semester, we accepted you, Max, and you didn't show up to any advisory council meetings.
And that is what happened.
Number 2,
It's very true.
the budget department did not come to us at the beginning of the year explaining to us, which Niels and Danny are a part of.
Yeah.
Were there any other attacks? Oh, the amount of money, why?
Wait, I'd like to respond.
Well, yeah, they just personally
That was-
attacked.
That was a
I would like to
personal attack. That was
respond.
a personal
We-
attack.
If they're gonna,
They attacked my
if
person,
they can
not our
respond,
ticket.
we should be allowed to
Danny and I-
respond.
Wait, that should
I'm okay with them.
I would like to
You
respond.
guys can respond. You guys can respond. You guys.
Wait, let them respond first.
Wait, we can Okay, the budget department doesn't give money out really. You have to come apply like everyone else. So I thought that was kind of just implied by us not telling you what you wanted. So if you want money from the budget department, come apply in the form for the budget department. Come send us an email. We're not going to go out and seek you if you want our money.
And that's known because we hold budget meetings every year.
Yeah. Also, you guys can come to our budget meetings.
We go to them first. in the
Yes,
back.
yes. Budget meetings.
Yeah, budget meeting.
Yeah.
What do you say?
Huh? Oh,
Do you have anything to say?
yeah, at the budget meetings, I'm pretty sure only I think we had 4 budget meetings and only two of them were senior caucus members present. So,
Junior.
caucus,
Well, current
yeah,
junior.
yeah, now it's to be senior caucus members present.
I guess now I'd like to talk. Yes, I think it's fair to say that if only 6 people apply, you can only have a 6-person advisory council. But if nobody knows where to apply or what the application is, then of course you're only going to have a 6-person advisory council. I don't recall seeing anything telling me I could apply. I didn't see it around the school, and maybe they put it up, but I think a lot of people here didn't know where to apply, and I think part of the thing, you have to go to the people if you're in charge. You can't wait for them to come to you.
Okay, that's real quick. Ready? I was on their advisory council. They're right, and they had about 3 meetings maybe. And here I have the transcript from the group chat we were in. Real pro. Is the meeting tomorrow? Not a lot of people responded. This chat is a gem. Wait, so when is the meeting? Now we're still in yours then. When is the meeting? Please tell us when the meeting is. I made up that last one, but you get the point.
We'll send screenshots if you would like to the BOE. The BOE can publish them.
Don't pull anybody out. Okay, go.
I won't pull anybody out. I'm just saying that the general, since it's only a 6-people advisory council, we need everybody at the meeting for it to be a productive meeting. So we can't automatically hold meetings if not a lot of people will be available on that day, and that's why scheduling meetings became so difficult.
I'd like to respond.
No, that's not
I don't think. Why do you need everybody to get input?
Like the banter now.
This is the actual debate. If people can't respond to one another's idea, it's not a debate. It's a question and answer.
Okay. We'll drop it. We'll drop it. They win.
Thank you.
Fine.
Okay.
Yeah.
Unique audience question.
Unique.
I think you asked a question already.
This question has not been asked.
Okay.
though.
Alright,
It's
so
a
we're
new
not
question.
doing ticket. Alex, go.
So as president of the investment club, I want to know what like new ideas of getting money do you have for just in general for the SU for senior caucus, what like interesting investing ideas you guys have?
Investing.
Well, we're looking at this new startup, and we think it's
30 seconds. Ready. Set.
Okay, so as we said before, like a large portion of our senior caucus platform is about finance. What we're trying to do is get more vending machines on the second floor. There are currently vending machines on the fifth floor and in the lunchroom, and we believe that putting it in such a high traffic area as the senior atrium would be able to generate a lot more revenue. And second part, we'd also want to have a lot more events. Like Stuyvesant was a big success, I think. But I think we should have more of those because I know that a lot of money comes in from that when more students come in, and which will help us avoid this whole $195 thing that seems to be such a big thing that Maslow is screaming about.
Hey, can I have a point of inquiry on something they said?
Yes.
Like a question.
Yes?
Okay, wait, I'm just a bit confused. So the vending machines would be put out by the SU, and we would reap all the money put into the vending machines, and the SU would run these vending machines? Or, like all the vending machines right now are school run, so would we take over like the vending machine business? Of the SU?
We would have the school we'd pay for the cost of filling the vending machines with all the beverages that they need, but we would take the money that we get from paying for the water. That would the money would go to the senior caucus.
Alright. 30 seconds.
So, like you said before, we plan to host apparel sales, we plan to host bake sales. We also want to reach out to outside sponsors. We've talked to Kung Fu Tea and Egget, and they're really into having a promotional deal with Stuyvesant students, which we can also have them as a sponsor for them to help us host events, which we can expect more profits from.
So our big thing is turning to other agencies, specifically like the Alumni Association. They already have they're out of their part of where they were funding in the previous years, and right now they're ready to start giving back. So we'd like to directly work with them to make sure that we can reap the benefits of what they have. We can do things like maybe get an endowment to help kids that could not afford to go to prom, or graduation's too expensive for them to pay for that. Things like that will really help the student body. So we're going to look to outside sources, specifically with the Alumni Association and the Parent Association that we could do work or good connections with.
Okay, one of our plans to make more money is to make the school store a little, to sell things a little more useful to the student body. I think, you can buy pens in bulk, you can buy paper in bulk, and people will buy them. They're things people need. Especially, I don't know, I haven't had any loose leaf paper in my bag for 3 weeks, but if they sold it at the school store, I would have bought it. They do?
Yeah. We sell pens, pins,
No, but nicer
paper,
Nicer
notebooks.
stuff. We're in talks with
They're nice
Muji.
pens.
We have talked to Muji about
Nicer.
getting in a relationship with Stuyvesant.
We're ordering
Did
new
you?
pens.
We did talk to
No,
Muji.
not new
All the
pens.
pens.
Nicer pens.
Nicer pens.
We are ordering nicer new pens. All
Well,
the
it
pens
depends how you define nicer. Are they thick or are they
We're gonna have
Muji?
a pen conversation outside. Alright.
I would like to debate the romantic pens.
Nicer pens.
I would like to argue
The nicest.
So as for investing our money, our options are definitely limited. The DOE restricts us in a lot of ways. We can't put our money in the stock market or anything like that. We can't exponentially make our. I'm sorry, but we can't. DOE restricts it. We can't give money to the investment club and give them a loan and let them just. Could we? Actually, we probably could give them a loan to make us $1 million.
But that's not very realistic at this point. I do
that's
trust you, Alex, in making us millions of dollars, but that's not realistic within our time as senior caucus.
Yeah.
Okay, so
You go 5:30? 5:30?
Wait, what's that? Why?
We have a
Alright, cool. I want to call attention to the fact that most of the student body in our grade, we can't assume that we can afford to go to prom. That's a whole $210. And so this is coming from a person who's debating whether to go to J-prom in 2 days because of the $70 price tag. It's not that much compared to $210, but it's still a considerable amount. What I propose is So I'm on JSA and we go to overnights, and I really like the system that they have where we can apply for scholarships on an individual basis, and they covered more than half of the cost to go on an overnight to Boston, and that was the time of my life. And I feel that J-Prom can also have the potential to be the time of our lives. So, what do you say? I feel like that is very possible in our.
All right. So
we get
Thank you all.
Can we have an extended debate, just not on video?
No, it's not about
Matt just
video.
sits
I'm
down.
not gonna do this.
We're gonna get kicked out.
Yeah. So
Okay, but
these are your
I
last
mean, until we get kicked out.
Last words.
These are my last words ever.
Last
Yes.
words.
Okay. Last words.
How many strikes do we have?
Okay, so Leon Jamal, we don't have experience like many other students, but we have hope and we have put, and we are confident that we can make real change in this government if you give us a chance.
And I've been president of my Polish club for the past 3 years. I do have experience. I do have experience, if any, running a school, managing budgets, and knowing the entire ins and outs of a smaller community that could basically apply to something like Stuyvesant. So I do have experience in that.
That's it.
So I think that being in the SU since our freshman year and me being in Caucus for 2 years, we've learned so much, and we know that we can take that experience and make sure that students have an amazing senior year.
I think senior caucus, it's not time to learn and make mistakes and say we're going to learn next year, because there won't be a next year. I think we have to pick people who are experienced, who know the in and outs of the school, the administration, how the two work together, and everything that deals with the caucus. Yeah.
Especially since senior year is just about everyone in the student body, and I think that we are one of the tickets that represent such a large majority of the student body because we're so immersed in all the clubs there. So.
Thank you.
So I think Pauline and I have a very clear legacy within the school and a very clear actions that we've already taken, specifically with the school store, specifically with the complete revamp of the clubs and pubs. And I think by electing us to be your senior caucus representatives, we can take this to the next level and make sure we implement more of these very, very critical reforms that we've already shown that we can do on a greater playing field. So I think if you want to vote for a candidate or candidacy that's already proven themselves for the student body, you should vote for us.
I think you should vote for us because, quite simply, we are enthusiastic and we actually will trying to get things done for you. We have experience. It's not in the SU, but we go to Stuyvesant, we're in leadership positions at Stuyvesant, we know how it works. It's not that much different. It's you don't need to have been in the SU before to know how to run an SU position. It's not that hard. And we believe that we are the best candidates to make your year better. We believe that the change we make will be noticeable and we will actually bring change.
People shouldn't be rewarded for making mistakes.
Alright, so I think you should vote for us, not fake Hassan, the real Hassan and Kenneth, because the fact that
Drop out, actually.
Alright, so I think you should vote for us because I believe that I actually commend you guys for saying that you guys weren't on SU because I think we represent the student. We represent the student body much more than the elites at the top. That's not how SU is supposed to. It's not the real world representation of government. And I feel that people like us, we bring a fresh look from the point of view of the students. So we don't want to put ourselves on a pedestal and start saying that we're senior caucus presidents and vice presidents. We're your communicators. Through us, we can get to the people, Ms. Zhang, administration, that can actually bring change.
And I believe that Kenneth and Hassan are a breath of fresh air in a caucus that has become increasingly trite and I think is consistently underperforms and underachieves. And I really think that they can raise the standards of our school and really make Stuyvesant great again.
Thank you.